What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back another video on the channel, and today we have got McDonald's, but nothing that I have is actually what it is. It's gonna make sense in a second. I ended up freestyling a bunch of items, so this isn't really a Big Mac, this isn't really a McDouble, and that's kind of a McDouble, but it's not really. That's a spicy chicken, but not really. It'll make sense when I get to it. Also, just came from the movies, got my patented AMC cup, because that's all I get when I get there. Got a cheeky Sprite grape diet. Saw Black Adam, so we'll have a quick little run through, little review, what I thought of it, of course, spoiler free. So that is on the menu today. If you are digging the content, of course, like, subscribe, all the cringy YouTube stuff. I'm not gonna hold y'all. They forgot my sauces. So I got Wendy's sweet and sour. There's also different sauces on here that don't belong to McDonald's. So it's kind of McDonald's. I went there for the bucket. You know the bucket, the Happy Meal bucket. You know they ain't had a bucket. Y'all get it, man. Anyway, let's dig into some of this food. We got a Big Mac, but it's not a Big Mac. It is a buffalo chicken Big Mac. Yes. If you order a Big Mac and ask for me chicken patties instead, they will do it for you. I just added buffalo sauce. There's also cheese on here. I can't stand Big Macs, but I saw a bunch of these, and I love chicken sandwiches, so we did get that. I'm going to bite this before I even touch anything. I'm not going to lie. There's Chick-fil-A sauce on here too, I forgot. That's fire. Everybody needs to collab. Because that is a sandwich. I didn't want to bite that. I was supposed to take this all out. Also have their spicy crispy chicken sandwich, but I changed the whole thing up because I think it's kind of mid. So what we ended up getting is a double spicy chicken sandwich. And I added Chick-fil-A sauce just to see if I can work with this thing. This is my last time trying this. If I don't like it, I'm not going to lie. And what we have here is a McQuadruple with mayo and ketchup, like a Whopper. You can ask for mayo on a McDouble. They don't charge you extra, and you can do that. Don't laugh at me, bro, okay? I had to do something with these extra buns. Promise me you're not gonna laugh? Y'all gonna laugh. Y'all gonna think I do the 420, and I still don't. I promise you, bro. But just listen. I got a French fry sandwich here. I had to do something with the buns, all right? I'm not going to waste them. So we have a French fry sandwich, which also has Chick-fil-A sauce on it. Some of the fries are missing because they're on here. And we did get the cheeky. Yes, I'm using cheeky. I overuse it all the time now. Apple pie, the double joint. So it's $2.29 for two of them. But it's a pumpkin pie. So we did get the pumpkin pie. I've reviewed these already. Those are my favorite pies that they do. So that is the vibe. Let me dig into some of this stuff. The spicy, I want to try this. Spicy double chicken with cheese, and the Chick-fil-A sauce as well as their spicy sauce. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bad chicken sandwich. It's just the worst one in the chicken wars. Now, I paid for this thing, so I'm finna eat it. But it's just the worst one. Let's get a McQuadruple. Extra mayo. They put a lot of mayo on here. When you ask for mayo and stuff, they be like, all right, I know what they do. It's all, I love it. 4 patties. This whole thing, I think, run me like $13. And that's only because this sandwich is like $7. Everything else, the Big Mac was free. I got frequent fatty points. I always have rewards points. Use the apps, people. Anyway. Let's talk about Black Adam. If you don't know what Black Adam is, you've been living under a rock. Pun intended. It is a comic book movie starring The Rock. That is from the DC universe that they're trying to, I guess, kind of give it a reboot, because the last movies that they've done haven't been the best received. Personally, most of the DC movies are below average to average. The ones that stand out, or should I say the one that stands out to me, okay, there's 2. 2.5. Anyway, the one that I thought was actually very good was Man of Steel. I really enjoyed that movie, and I feel like after that, with Suicide Squad and a bunch of the other movies, Aquaman, just were like pretty average. The other movies I thought that stood out were Wonder Woman, the first one. 1984 was and then after about the third or fourth rewatch, I enjoyed Batman versus Superman. I do like Ben Affleck's Batman. But anyway, Black Adam. Overall, it's a start. That's what I can say. I would say it's not great, but it's also not average. It's good. Pretty good. I do think The Rock did a nice job with it. Sometimes he's a victim of his own success. When I see him, I can't get out of my mind that I'm watching The Rock. You know, he's a physically imposing guy, very recognizable. And I feel like in superhero movies, that doesn't work as well. I mean, you can be a star, but to be like The Rock, sometimes it's tough. So I can't get out of my mind that I'm watching The Rock sometimes. But I thought that the movie, the plot, was okay. I can't give away spoilers, but I will say this when watching the movie. If you are a fan of the MCU, there's going to be a lot of different characters and things that they do that you, unless you're familiar with DC, will say they're ripping off. I can't give names, but there's one character specifically in the movie. I can kind of give names, that's not really a spoiler. Pierce Brosnan's character, which is Dr. Fate. A lot of people are probably going to say he's a ripoff of Doctor Strange, especially with how some of the things play out in the movie. And if you're unfamiliar with the comics, I can understand that. It isn't really, but I feel like this movie was 10 years too late. Everything that I saw in it, you will have seen in MCU films. So, even though I did find it enjoyable, I think that a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, I've seen all this before. And you're not necessarily wrong. There's nothing wrong with the movie per se. But there's nothing about it that makes it stand out entirely from all of these comic book movies. I also will tell you to watch the post-credits, because there is a post-credits scene that is pretty significant. People went nuts for it. But I just, the runtime was long. It's hard to... It's not great. It's good. It's not a bad movie. There's just nothing about it that I watched and I was like, oh man, like holy, I've seen it all already. There's so many superhero movies. It's going to be tough to make a movie that makes it better than what we've seen, because the MCU, up until Phase 4, did it so well already. And that's kind of the problem with this. There are some things that Black Adam does that does stand out. That's different. And it sets DC apart from the MCU, in my opinion. Because their characters have a little more gritty to them. A little more, even Bruce Wayne. Ben Affleck's Batman was a little more of an anti-hero with some of the ways that he operated in Batman vs. Superman. And it shows, even in this film. But we've seen it all. And my biggest thing, I came away from it and said, you know what? That's a start. That's a good movie. You can see building something different finally. Whereas the other ones, I was just like, okay, where the hell are you going to go from here? You know? So, if that was the intent of this movie, then mission accomplished. If I had to rank it with the other DC Universe films, it would be below the ones that I stated before. So, Batman vs. Superman, the first Wonder Woman, which I thought was very, very good. And I am one of those people, I loved Man of Steel. I know it's not popular opinion, but I did. Is it worth a watch? For enthusiasts of DC and comic book movies in general, you won't dislike it, but I don't think you'll love it either. So, if you're not into comic book movies, I wouldn't watch it. I'll be honest with you. But overall, as a DC enthusiast and as a comic book movie enthusiast, I walked away from this and said, okay, at least we have some variety and something different. But, you know, like, I didn't have crazy expectations, but the way people were talking, like, oh, he rewrote the comic book scheme, I'm going, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I'm cursed. I'm leaving it in. What did he rewrite? There's only two significant things that was kind of already in the DC universe, in my opinion. But a good watch. I also like Pierce Brosnan's character. I thought he did a nice job as Dr. Fate, man. I'll give him that. That's really it. Anything more I would give you would be a massive spoiler. And we don't do spoilers. If I was giving this a rating, and I rated it out of 5, it'd be like a 3.2. Slightly above average. Which, for most of DC films, that's a damn start. And that's all I kept saying. I walked out of the theater, I filled my Sprite back up, and I said, alright, that's a start. And I think it'll be the same. You'll feel... I left the Twitch on again. I was doing good. Anyway, overall, I will say, if this is not a must-see comic book movie, but it's still a nice movie to watch. I wouldn't go crazy trying to get to the theaters like a must-see. Like, if you're expecting, like, Infinity War or something like that, I mean, don't go to this movie. But if you're a comic book person and you want to see it, sure. Is it better than Thor? Not probably the same. Doctor Strange? Probably the same. Somewhere in that category. Nothing that stands out. People were disappointed in Thor because they had higher expectations, but I don't think people are walking into this with those kind of expectations. Pretty much a similar type of movie. The only thing is, not as like Thor's trying to be funny type of stuff, so not, but as a rating, somewhere there. You can see I'm all over the place with this one because I feel like I'm looking more towards the future with saying that it's like, you know, it's a start. But it's not like an overall crazy movie. But enjoyable. That's it. Anything else would be a spoiler. But with that being said, I still enjoy going to movies, so for me it was a good watch. Runtime's a bit long. Because I'm going off topic here, but we gotta go here. Why are all these freaking comic book movies so damn long? They don't have to be 2.5 hours. It's not a rule. I don't know where that started, but it doesn't have to be. Every comic book movie these days is 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 50 minutes. The Batman was damn near 3 hours. Like, let's cut some of this shit out. We can make it shorter. There's, out the top of my head, I don't know how many 2 hour, like, how many under 2 hour comic book movies do they have now? They're all so damn long. And I'm going to see Black Panther when it comes out. And it's 2.5 hours. We don't have to do that. We really don't have to do that. We need to have a petition and go back to the days where movies were like an hour and a half, hour and 49 minutes. You can tell a story in that. I remember when it was like an exception when Titanic was like that long and people were like, oh, well, it's Titanic. Not every movie has to be Titanic. And I feel like comic book movies these days are just trying so hard to be epic that they're forgetting that it's supposed to just be fun. They don't have to break records every time you watch a damn movie. That's just my opinion, man. Like they just go too crazy with these. Like, how many MCU movies are under 2 hours? It's not many. I haven't got all day. I'm trying being here for that long. And with this movie, because of it, some of the scenes tend to drag a little bit. Like, they're I wish I could give you a specific one, but there's one specific scene towards the end of the film where I was like, okay, we know where this is going. Can we speed this shit up? I'm not even joking. I actually said that out loud. Not I didn't scream it like ignorant, but I was definitely thinking it. I didn't even eat this French fry sandwich, bro. You want to see a bite? Why does that work? McDonald's fries. But if you watch the movie, let me know, which towards the end, and I was just like, I know what's about to happen, just do it already. You don't have to make this long. Like, and all I kept thinking was like, did they tell him it had to be 2.5 hours for it to... I think this movie was 2 hours and 21 minutes or something like that, but not necessary. You can easily cut these movies down by 30 to 45 minutes and it would still give you the same exact experience and plot and all that other stuff. Like, I just feel like a lot of whoever's in charge of making these movies and a lot of things in general, I just feel like they're out of touch with like what people actually care about. No one cares about extremely long runtimes unless it's completely necessary. Like, does it affect your bottom line in the box office, or is it because they're doing so much filming that they're trying to just like use as much of it as possible? But for whatever reason, it didn't have to be. But also, Zack Snyder's version of Justice League, which is 4 hours long, is better than the 2 hour version. So, I don't know, some of these movies, they tend to drag. Infinity War was fine. It was that long, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. But a lot of them don't have to be. They just don't. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Can we go back to like an hour and 42-minute movies? You watch it, it starts, you go, and then you get out. Maybe it's just me. But I had to get off that much. I'll get that off my chest. Anyway, overall, go see it if you want to, but I wouldn't go crazy trying to go to it. Don't say I recommended you go to it. I said it 3 different times. I would wait. Watch it in your flat screen. Make sure you got surround sound. Nice little, flying and CGI. But it's all the same shit we've seen already. We know people can fly and throw people far. And we've seen it. We've seen it all. So, that's my synopsis. Without giving spoilers. If I give spoilers, I could have given more. But maybe I'll do one with spoilers like when I stream it. Or you can watch something. I'll figure it out. But that's going to be the end of the video. No, I got to eat this apple pie. Hold on. I'm gonna walk right out eating the pie. This pie, bro. McDonald's pumpkin cream pie. I'm not even joking. Because, there you go. This thing right here. Easily their best pie to me. Honorable mention to that birthday cake one they have every once in a while, but this thing hits diffy, man. Saved me from that mid-ass chicken sandwich. Right here. That with some ice cream. That changed my whole... I'm not gonna lie. This was fire. I don't really like McDonald's burgers, if I'm being real. I think they're okay. This was, what you think it is. And this is just so not... Like, it's just... What the hell, man? I don't know. Anyway, with that being said, I got a lot of errands and stuff, cleaning up to do. Yankees lost again because we can't beat Houston. I've been said that. So, I'm a little perturbed. I don't think we're going to win. I went to see the movie instead of watching the damn game. But, end of the video, man. We'll be back tomorrow. More content. I love y'all. The hand signs. They made it to YouTube.